Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I am headed to work this morning. I am your Wednesday host, Houston, and this week's topic is cultural appropriation, which not really looking forward to it, but I don't like the terms cultural appropriation. I do believe that people have forgot the meaning of cultural appropriation, which is disrespecting a culture or using it in some form or fashion to make a profit without respecting it. That's a generalized, summarized definition, of course. But there are, God, if you go to Tumblr, if you're a part of the Tumblr community, then you know that word is thrown around so much, where people say that you can't practice a certain religion or a certain tradition because of the color of your skin, because of where you're born. There's so many little petty things. And I do think that it's completely stupid. I mean, I understand, cultural appropriation, like culture and fashion. I mean, if they're not doing it in a bad way, like if they're not dissing the culture, if they're not disrespecting the culture, is what I meant to say. If they're not, claiming to be something that they're clearly not within the culture, I don't see a problem with it. I know fashion used to draw from many cultures, from Incan to Native American to Eastern European to Asian to Japanese, but in these, I recently haven't seen anything that's been anything culture based, because I think everyone is super sensitive and gets offended easily, and that's kind of, in my opinion, what it goes down to. People feel that if you aren't born into a tradition, that you can't learn about it. Like if you aren't born into Santeria, then you can't learn about it. You're not allowed to learn about it. If you're not born in a voodoo tradition, you can't learn about it. If you're not a particular color of skin, if you don't, and I know that may be offensive, then you can't learn about certain traditions like hoodoo or voodoo or anything like that, because you're appropriating the culture of enslavement. And I can understand that to a degree, but if there's something I'm interested in, like hoodoo or voodoo or Santeria or Japanese culture, if there's something I'm interested in, I'm going to research it and I'm going to incorporate it into my practice. I haven't had that much interest in voodoo, but it's just an example. Choose my words. I incorporate a lot of different aspects from many different cultures into my practice because I find them fascinating. I respect them. I do my research before I do anything, add anything into my practice. I do my research, make sure I know what I'm getting into, I know what I'm saying, I know what the ritual's about, I know what the blessing or prayer is about. I know who I'm calling on. I have a huge book of, which I think I've done a video review on this book, the huge book of spirits, which I know is not all encompassing, but it has a shit ton of spirits. It's called the Encyclopedia of Spirits by Judica Isles, I believe. It may not be by her, but you can just type in Encyclopedia of Spirits on Amazon and it'll pop up. I have many different books. Not many. I have 2 different books at the moment on Japanese culture, which I'm extremely interested in. I have a lot of books on the Celtic culture, culture of the Celtics, is your way to say it. Germanic witchcraft, Germanic folk magic, hoodoo. I think and Native American spirituality. I think coming into this topic, it really gets under my skin, because there are so many people out there that want to throw these two words around at you if they don't like what you practice, or they feel that you're doing something wrong, and they feel that that you shouldn't, even though I don't understand where people get off thinking that you shouldn't be able to do something in your practice. Your magical practice is your own practice. No one should be able to police you into saying who you should worship or work with, who you should, or what workings you should do, what tradition you should believe in, or what tradition you should work with. I think that's complete bullshit for when people say that. When they say that you can't, there's no way that deity or goddess or god reaches out to you because you're a white American, or you're, not African American, and I am speaking from personal experience. I think it's super annoying that people would say things like, oh no, I think you just made it up, because there's no way that goddess of that particular closed culture would reach out to you, or that Loa from Voodoo would reach out to you, because you're not of the tradition. May be true, but when in their mind it may be true. That's how they have it set up for how their gods or spirits contact them. But the way I believe, and the way that I know a lot of people to believe, is when they open up to spirit and meditation or in ritual, they allow anyone to come through that has a positive intent. You don't let things come through that have negative intent, because that's just a pain in the ass to deal with. But and I'm speaking just from a couple experiences on Tumblr. I know YouTube, there's tons of videos on YouTube that talk about it. And my opinion is, I'm going to end the video soon. My opinion is, if you are interested in a new culture, if you're interested in a new practice, if you're interested in a couple deities that aren't from a traditional witchcraft practice, that are from something like a Japanese, they're Japanese in origin, or Chinese, or Asian, or if they are, people get for riding my butt. I lost my train of thought. Oh, if they're not from what you're practicing already, let's say Wicca or witchcraft or whatever, I suggest that you do a ton of research. Find out what they like, what they don't like. Find out what find out what they help with, if that's how you look at deity. Find out how you can work with them. Find out about their culture, and learn as much about their culture as possible, and go about it with respect and dignity. That's my opinion. I think that if you do that, I think you're fine. If you love a culture so much that you want to incorporate that into your practice, do your research on what do's and don'ts of that culture. Learn some of the rituals, things like that. Try them, see if they work, if they feel right for you. And if they do, then incorporate them. That's all I have to say. If you guys have any comments or questions, concerns, or hell, if you even have hate, put it down for me in the comment section, and we'll have a discussion about it. And until next week, many blessings, guys.